What the hell? Where the hell am I?
Well, welcome, traveler. Welcome to my digital circus.
Oh, hell nah. Someone spiked my drink again. Run!
This is no delusion. You've been teleported graciously into my digital circus.
Oh, God, why am I dressed like a virgin?
It's hell of a boss merch.
Yeah, so virgin. So quick question, why is that Annabelle chick staring at me? Is that the pink Google Play logo? And hold on, is that f***ing Bonnie?
Enough! Would you like to play a game?
Oh, games. I actually like games.
Let's play Gather My Glunks!
Yeah, that. I'm gonna go talk to this glitching clown over here because he seems more sane than any of you three.
No, wait, don't do that.
Oh my god! I can't do that anymore! Oh. Hard, Daddy. Well, hello everyone. After a much needed break, I'm now back on that YouTube grind. And boy, do I have some stuff in store for the new year. But today's topic is about the Amazing Digital Circus. Yeah, I might be a little bit late on this one. I'm gonna go my bad on that, but not late enough apparently. Because the newest addition to indie animation is still raking in millions and millions of views each day. Probably because of this Five Nights at Freddy's reject. But as of recording, the Amazing Digital Circus has amassed over million views, which completely blows the ever-living shit out of the competition. Suck it, Has-Been Hotel. And you know how much I like covering meaningful topics. So let's dive into what this record breaker is all about. Does it deserve the views, or is it just overrated? Let's critique it. We start this deranged episode by getting introduced to this spawn from hell who calls itself Cain, who is the owner of this digital realm that he has built to resemble that of a circus. We are then introduced to his residence. I'm not going to go ahead and explain every single goddamn character here, but just know the only character who actually makes sense in a circus overslept and couldn't make it. We share a lot in common. While Cain and Chompy here have an LSD trip, a new individual literally pops into existence and completely f***s over everyone else's routine, while simultaneously and understandably freaking out on where the hell she was, referencing that she just put on a headset and was sucked into this strange world. Oh, trust me, I'd be freaking out if I was in that world too. To which she quickly realizes from the others that she's not leaving anytime soon. Cain and the others give what they think is a welcome, but more of a you're reassurance, but this gives us a more close introduction to the rest of the cast. We got Ragatha, the voice of reason, Jax, the dick, the emo chick, completely forgettable honestly, and the most sane one. After finding out she most certainly cannot fathom a swear word, fuck, was that so hard? Oh shit. Cain thinks it's the most opportune time to ask her for her name, to which she cannot remember, of course. So Cain whips out the random name generator and selects the name Pomni. And the Rule 34 artists are off to the races. Seriously, why? But without further hesitation, he subjects everyone to a new adventure. Gather the gloinks! What is the little pervert really talking about? And with that, the rest of the crew is off to the races, except for the emo. But Pomni is less concerned about the task at hand and more about milking the rest of the crew for any sort of information to get out of this hellscape, to which they continue to reinforce that there is no way to leave and that if you were to dwell in it for too long, you would eventually lose your marbles. Which reminds the sane one, Kinger, that an exit was the last thing that one of their buddies named Kaufmo, aka the guy who didn't show up to rehearsal, was rambling about the last time they spoke to him. So Pomni seizes at the chance and asks to see him for more information. But boy does that backfire, as Kaufmo has indeed already lost his sanity and entered a state the others call an abstraction. And all over the room we only see a couple mentions of an exit. After Jax pieces out and Ragatha gets dookied on, Pomni, realizing that she would be unable to assist Ragatha, leaves her on the run from the deranged Christmas tree. Though the chase ends quite swiftly, Pomni realizes that she has to go back to help Ragatha. Meanwhile, the Drama Project and Kinger are joined by the nonchalant Jax, who informs the pair what happened to Kaufmo, without telling them that he abstracted, which could have been a very crucial detail, but down the deep dark black hole they go.
An insect cloud? collection?
I think it's a nest.
No shit, Sherlock!
Pomni finds Ragatha in a severely disfigured state, who explains in quite a distorted manner that the key to bringing everything back to normal was to find Kane, who is probably in God knows where, and after opening many random and disturbing doors, Pomni makes a run in with the deranged Christmas tree again, and this time she's got nowhere to run. Right? Never mind. You'd think with that many eyes they'd be a little bit more aware. I guess whatever moves the story along. Pomni then runs into this mysterious exit door and says F it to this place and everyone else in it. The rest of the crew finally find the dismembered emo. Okay, was that too far? To which Kinger believes he could save her. Then quickly realizes that he's a chess piece and his hands aren't actually attached to his body.
Kinger, you mother...
Anyway, let's see how Pomni's doing. She's f***ed. Back to Jax and Hooligans, who are having an amazing bonding session with the Glowing Queen.
This is dumb and weird.
So the abstracted Kaufmo drops right in and decides to spice things up a little by beating the ever-living shit out of the Glowing Queen. Good riddance. I think everyone was getting sick of her having too much screen time already. But there's gonna be that one weirdo in the comments who are saying, but I like the Glowing Queen. Yeah, no one cares. But it is here that everyone else finds out what actually happened to Kaufmo, with Jax proceeding to not give a damn as they make their exit back to the surface and leaving Kaufmo to do his thing. Back to Pomni. By now she's already gone completely nuts, finding herself in a loop-de-loop with exit door after exit door. But there is two important details present in this sequence. The first, when she enters one of the many backrooms and sees a computer setup that we assume as a viewer would resemble the digital circus she is currently trapped in, and this quick pan up to a CNA logo, which, although just a theory, many believe stands for Cain and Abel, the biblical tale of where a jealous man murders his brother and is exiled as punishment, which means the Cain in this universe could share similar traits with the Cain in the biblical tale. But again, just a theory. A film theory. I'm done. Pomni eventually leads herself into the void. Kane is alerted via his Wacky Watch, which is actually a real website, by the way, which mainly is just an ad for the show. Once he's alerted of her presence in the void, he quite comically removes her before she has the opportunity to do anything, not that she could in the first place, but we never know. He doesn't want you to see the abominations people made of you, Pomni. With Kane now back in the circus with the entire crew, he quickly disposes of Kaufmo, fixes the damage he had caused, and gives some bullshit excuse that we assume would keep anyone else from snooping around and thinking about the possibility of an exit, because we can't have a show if the exit exists, right? But with the supposed defeat of the Glowing Queen, Kane declares the adventure over and throws a feast as the reward, even though Kaufmo did all the fighting, but okay. And Kinger makes the keen observation that there was no reason to eat or drink in the digital world, and the food mainly just gives off the sensation of eating. But when pressed about how he knows such information by Jax, he basically forgets what he just said, which could mean that Kinger could hold some valuable information going forward. He just needs to be less of a nutcase. Oh wait, I just went against my own joke. Has to be more big brain. After a brief pan out of the entire world like something out of Strange World, and a view back to the computer setup from earlier, the pilot officially concludes. But we're not done yet. I will have to give the best moment of the pilot to the whole Pomni swearing bit. Not only was I not expecting this when this did happen, but it also pokes fun at the ridiculous censorship of supposedly family-friendly environments such as a circus, and retains the show's identity as something that is not made for kids. The worst moment, however, will have to go to this small monologue given by the Glowing Queen. As cringe as it is, I think it's one of the few times I actually found Jax's character actually funny, which is another reason why this is the worst moment for me. Moving on, since this is only a pilot, we can't definitively say who the best character is until at least the end of the season. But that doesn't certainly mean I can't discuss and speculate based on what I've seen in the pilot who the best character is so far. But before I explain my answer, let's look at some of your answers. I asked who you thought was the best character in Digital Circus on my community tab just days ago, and out of 300 votes, leading with 56% of the majority, was Jax. I highly disagree. I know the whole point of his character is just to be an arrogant jerk and conjure up some sort of laughs. His jokes are a little too blunt and lack any sort of depth or wit, and I just don't like how he treats the rest of the cast like shit 24/7. I personally think that the best character was the one with the least amount of votes. Where although he seems inconsiderate to the rest of the cast on the outside by being tone deaf to virtually any situation, I argue that he actually wants to protect the cast from knowing the truth of what the digital circus is trying to hide. As mentioned from my Cain and Abel references in my plot observations, there is more to meets the eye, no pun intended, to Cain's character than just being the caretaker of the circus. But if you're interested, let me know if you have any other theories on Cain. Overall, I'm actually undecided on how I would rate the Amazing Digital Circus. When I watched this with a friend for the first time, it sort of failed to capture my attention on the first viewing. Jax was a major reason of this, but it was after the second viewing a week later that I was able to see some of the small nuances and references that this show had to offer. However, in the grand scheme of things, there's nothing really interesting or groundbreaking that this show brought in its pilot episode that differentiates it from its competitors in the current indie animation scene, such as Helva Boss's pilot or even Lackadaisy's pilot. But this show definitely shows a lot of promise, and I will have to see more of it to give a more definitive opinion of it. But for right now, I think it's only fair to give the Amazing Digital Circus's pilot a solid B tier. Do you agree or disagree? What do you think about this upcoming indie animated show? And do you believe it deserves the success it achieved? Me personally, yes I do. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, I'm gonna go play on my PlayStation VR now, because I tried using MetaQuest Pro last time and that was a weird experience. Until next time.
We can call it Sunset Rose Cocktail.
Huh. I wonder who voices him. For no reason at all. He's Omen's voice actor? Yeah, Ron, we're not doing further than that next.